Hello, everybody. Today is Friday, September 11th, and it's 4:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to bring over the time and sales. The E-mini S&P, the market has just closed 6 minutes ago. E-mini S&P trading at 1960.50. Before I go any further, first the required disclaimer. Okay, yesterday, somehow my workspace with all my charts that I was following got deleted, so I had to reconstruct it. Therefore, I didn't get all the settings I was using. I got most of them, but I'll have to work on it some more over the weekend. So today's performance was mediocre. We still had half a dozen systems winning, although not really large gains. Many charts didn't trade today because I just didn't have the right settings. I'm just going to bring over the control center. You can see the big winner was the bonds on the Superenco 2 tick. I'll get to that in a second. The NASDAQ and then the bonds on the 5 tick. These are all modest gains. Most of these, in fact, all of these are just trading two contracts. I'm trying some different things to come up with some new settings for different scenarios. This chart here of the 30-year Treasury note is on a 2-tick Superenco. Now, remember the bonds are $31.25 a tick, so that's a lot of bang for the buck. That's probably one of the largest tick sizes of all the futures contracts. And this is using our line break algorithm. So for those of you that don't know, a line break chart is basically a trading system in itself. It's always in the market. So for a long, the close of the bar has to close above the high of 3 bars ago, and to reverse for a short, it would have to close below the low of 3 bars ago. And a line break can be 2 bars or 3 bars or 4 bars, so you can modify the chart to be, more or less sensitive by adjusting the number of line breaks. The standard number, the default number of line breaks, or the traditional number is 3. So the line break signal is indicated by these dotted green and red lines on the chart here. I'm just going to zoom in real close. So this is the line break to go short. And so a close below this dotted line would indicate a short. So on this chart, on a 2 Renko, it did really well today. You can see it went long above the line break, and then of course exited based on the precision trend logic, which is the bars turning red, and then of course it went short because of this line break, and then exited here and then went long because of this line break, and so forth. And it hit its goal of the goal being $1,500, so it had a little bit of slippage. Remember, the profit goal is a market order if the profit goal is touched. So that's why it's not always exactly going to match. It figures if you made that much profit, then your goal was hit and it executes a market order. So I have a $1,500 limit profit target and a $1,200 loss limit. And in the setup here, you can see the line break algorithm is selected, and you can select the number of line breaks here. So this is a very interesting chart, and I'll be following this and I'll be trying it out on some more contracts. What's interesting to note about this is that it avoids a sideways market like this, because often in the sideways market, it's not enough to trigger the line break. So even though the line break chart or the signal was given here and it went long, the choppy noise here wasn't enough to create a line break signal to go short. Therefore, in this chop, it didn't go short and didn't get whipsawed, and it stayed in the trade and ultimately was enough to reach its goal. So very interesting chart for setting it up that way. And remember, a line break chart can be on all time frames. It could be a really small time frame, or it could be a really long time frame. The BWT line break module and algorithm is something unique. No one else has this in their auto trader. Everybody pretty much copies what we do anyway, since BWT was one of the first NinjaTrader partners beginning back in 2007. So we have probably more experience working with NinjaTrader and programming in NinjaTrader than probably anyone. So for that reason, we've been very innovative in what we offer in our auto trader. Our auto trader is written in fully unmanaged mode, meaning there is not going to be overfills. There is no bugs in our system. There hasn't been a bug reported in several years in the version 7 of our auto trader. So we have always strived to bring you the best software possible. Personally, I learned to trade on a line break chart about 15 years ago. So I've always been interested in line break, and that's why you see it as an automated module in the strategy. It wasn't easy to get this to work properly, but we did. So moving on to our next chart. Okay, the NASDAQ on the Super 7 tick did not actually do 24.55 today. This is kind of a carryover because it's trading from overnight and early in the morning. So the reality is it did about $800. But what's interesting about this is a limit order with a pullback of just 2 ticks on the Super chart, and it caught a lot of trades here. But nevertheless, this is kind of a new setup I'm testing, and it actually did pretty good, all things considered. There was a lot of winning trades. I can probably refine this a little bit more, but nevertheless, on 2 contracts, it showed a profit of 725 for the day, as seen here. Okay, next up is the Russell on the Super 7 tick, and this recovered from a $700 drawdown off the open and came back to be plus 360 for the day on 2 contracts, and then stopped trading at 230 on the Russell. The 30-year Treasury bond on the Super 7 tick had a small winner near the close of just a few ticks on a single trade for a net of 250. And the bonds on the 30-year bond on the Super 5 tick had the same trade but made a few more ticks to close at 562.50. That's about it for today's video. If you'd like to find out more about the BWT Precision Auto Trader, please visit our website. Send us an email to systems@bluewave trading or give us a call. Thank you for watching today.